I literally have zero clue as to what just happened. But that was cool. So guys, I wanted to start today. I wanted to go into this room that we call Goldie's room. Not a lot of people talk about Goldie or even really investigate Goldie's room, right? But like, it is one of the more fascinating stories that we have here. Certainly one of the more heartbreaking stories that we have here as well. But like Goldie, we know that Goldie was apparently young, in love, all of this stuff, but she was left at the altar, okay? She was left at the altar. Because of that, she suffered a mental breakdown because of that, right? She was then brought here to kind of cope and to deal with all of that stuff. But we do know that while she was here, she suffered some kind of neurological thing, and I don't know what that would be, but as she was here, recovering, getting better from that heartbreak, something neurological happened. It may have been a stroke, it may have been something, I don't know, because I can't find the proper documentation that would suggest what it actually was. What I do know is that then after, let's just call it a stroke or what have you, but this neurological thing that happened, she had her hand, it was in a fist always. It wouldn't unclench. It was always in a fist, and it was always like to her chest. It was stuck to her chest, so it did not move. So I don't know exactly what that would be. We can obviously assume, we can make assumptions, speculate what that was. Definitively, I don't know what that was. Okay, but so she has this neurological thing while here, and at the end of her life, like, because then she just stayed here. This became just home for her. At the end of her life, God, this gets me every time. Like, she could only say two things. Okay, she could say, "My name is Goldie," and then the other thing that she could say was, "You're not my mama." And I don't know why that it hits different, right? Like, it's heartbreaking, I've always had a soft spot for Goldie. I've always had a soft spot for that. But she passed away right here in this building, right there in that room, is where she expired. Hello? So I just hit record. Just hit record, guys, and there was footsteps on the staircase here. Alright. Just gonna cruise up and see. That's new. Okay, 1 second. Let's get that addressed. Okay. This knocked down. This door open. Attic light was on. Now light off, door closed. And this freaking thing. Ugh. Put that back in place. What the hell? Okay. All of that was not like that 30 minutes ago when I first entered the building and walked through. Okay. All right. How are we doing today, guys? Doing okay? Boy, that was strange. That was certainly strange. Good morning, Hank. How are you? You having a good day so far, pal? Put this over here. Goldie, how are you this morning? You doing good today? Hey Goldie, I left it's like a pack of cigarettes that looks like it's just sitting there on your floor. I left it right there. Is there a way that you could maybe go up and touch this wire? This little wire here that's kind of poking out from it. Could you maybe touch that wire? Kind of keep my eye on that crap too. Good morning, Hank. That was very bizarre. I mean, you've got the door open, the light on, and then that thing right there to that other crawl space was knocked down. I don't know. I find it interesting just because, again, like when I walked in here 30 minutes ago, nothing was out of place. Not like that. Goldie, would you like to talk to us today? My God. It says, "Be not afraid," on the mirror. Kind of adorable. Okay. All right, well, I'm going to step off or step away from that device there. That way I'm not causing anything to go off. What the frick? Hello? Knocking. Hello? I heard you knock. Who was that? Very interesting. What? Did I hear a voice? Am I just losing my mind? Probably. Huh. So Goldie, I just wanted to come in here real quick and chat for a while, if you don't mind. Goldie, is there a way that you can speak to me? Is there a way that you could tell me, like, why you're in here? Goldie, is there anything that you need? Is there anything that you would like? Anything that you would like me to get for you, possibly? Or do for you, possibly? Yeah, I would be more than happy to help in any way that I could. But you gotta tell me. You gotta let me know somehow, please. There's a lot of noisy trucks driving by right now, aren't there? What about you, Hank? You've made the bell ding a couple times. Could you do it one more time for me? No? Hello? The fuck was that? That was 2 knocks. What the hell? Okay, real quick. 2 knocks from somewhere down here. As I'm walking down this little ramp here, 2 knocks on what sound like this wall over here. Very slight little taps. 2 louder knocks down here. 2 slight taps over there. I mean, that was not on this door. Like, that was not the noise that I heard. That is not the noise that I heard. That was not the noise. That is the noise. What the frick? Ouch. Okay. Okay. So whatever that was knocking on this right here, on this particle board right there. I mean, for sure. Like, 1,000% what I was hearing. Whatever knocked on the wall over here, or just, it was like a tap. It was like just tapping. But it was only 2 there. So 2 louder knocks there, 2 taps over here. And that was about it. Oh. Damn it. I tried to get it. Goldie, were you making that go off? Were you making that device go off? Holy crap. was really hoping to catch that. We totally missed it. And it basically stopped as soon as it started. I mean, it was only going for maybe 2 seconds, you know? Gosh dang it. Okay. Well, Goldie, I'm not sure if that means that you want me to talk or if that means you want me to leave you alone or if you were just kind of testing that device kind of on your own when nobody was in the room. So I tell you what, Goldie, I'm going to step out of the room, right, entirely. I'm going to walk across the hall. So I'm going to go into Hank's room over here and Goldie, if you want to make that thing go off, you are more than welcome to. Like, please do, in fact. Just back up here. See what's going on. Somebody left a cat ball here. Okay. Okay. That was a knock from in here, which behind the door to Hank's room is the restroom. What was that? Who's knocking in here? I mean, it is very, very tight quarters in here. All right, we'll leave that door open. Close this door back up here. Let it just kind of rest there. All right. Nothing else from Goldie. Nothing else from the dead bell either. So, pretty interesting how this all works. I swear to God, though, man, like I've got chills from head to toe. I'm just like nothing but goosebumps. Like I'm just goosebumped all over the place. So I don't know if that means it's me getting in my own head or if that's legitimately something different in the atmosphere that's giving me a physical response to all of that stuff. Like, I don't know. What the frick is going on with this thing, huh? Ah. Place is falling apart, guys. Okay, well, there's no more dings, no more beeps, no more knocks. I suppose I'll just let you guys go. I suppose I'll just let you enjoy the rest of your day. But my Lord. That was trippy. Like that was definitively, I mean, knocking at the end of this hallway. 2 taps on this. Like as I was walking down right here, it probably was roughly right when I was about here. And just 2 little taps. That's what that sounded like. It was enough to kind of stop me in my tracks there. That's for sure. But gosh dang. I appreciate your time, guys. I appreciate the interactions. I just don't know what the hell that was. That was ridiculous. Like, absolutely freaking ridiculous. Turn that guy off. That was me. All right, Goldie, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to turn this off. I'm going to get her to speak yet, that is for sure. I'm going to get her to talk at some point. Thank you, guys. Like everything all at once, you know? Everything all at once. And then it just kind of right back to flatline again. So I'm doing my thing. I hear two very loud, distinct knocks. Okay, now we're getting somewhere, right? I cruise down the hallway. As I'm maybe halfway down the hallway, just to my right, there are two little taps. And the two little taps happened right on the wall. That was certainly enough to make me take the camera and then pivot, because I was like, what was that? It certainly got my attention, right? It was absolutely insane. So, cruise down. So again, two very loud knocks, two then very small, insignificant type knocks or whatever, just next to me, beside me or whatever. I go down then, and I'm trying to investigate. I was like, okay, that wasn't the door. Okay, interesting, because at the same time then it's like, oh yeah, that door had already moved. The light had turned on, the door had opened, and that weird thing blocking the crawl space had knocked itself down. I'm like, there was weird crap that was happening before I even got up there, which is interesting because it's almost like they knew I was going to go up there. They knew I was going to go investigate in that specific hallway today. So it's like, oh, here you go. Here's some fun little crap little breadcrumbs that we're going to leave for you, right? But regardless, I'm trying to figure out what it was knocking on. The only thing that I could come up with that even sounded remotely similar, and I'm still not convinced that it sounded identical, but it was similar enough that it was on that, there's like a thing of particle board that's like up against the wall. Whatever reason it's there, it's blocking off something. It was supposed to be there for some reason. I don't know what that was, but it's there, you know? And that to me sounded like it was the closest as far as the knocking goes. It certainly didn't sound like the door. It didn't sound like the wall or anything like that. It certainly sounded like that particle board, right? Which I have no idea. Again, no clue whatsoever. What really got me then was the fact that as I'm doing that and trying to figure this crap out, the gosh dang REM pod that's sitting in Goldie's room, which is 30 feet away from me at that time, starts going off. I run in there, and the thing had already stopped. I mean, it only went for just like, gosh, I don't know, 2-3 seconds, 4 seconds maybe tops, but I doubt it. But I mean, it went for maybe 2 to 3 seconds, and then that was it. So it was strange to me because, like, the investigation, in my opinion, the investigation was a total success. It was a success in the fact that paranormal things were in fact happening, right? Things that are above the normal were happening. What was the cause or the antecedent of all of that? I certainly don't know. I would also suggest that it's like, okay, the knocking on the wall or at the end of the hallway there, I don't think that was atmospheric. It sounded very deliberate, very boom, boom, you know? And so I don't know what to make of that other than something paranormal. But I don't know. I would consider it a success in the fact that it's like, okay, yeah, the dead bell went off. Cool. And the REM pod, it certainly went off. That's cool. The disembodied knocking was what really kind of jarred me, just because I wasn't expecting that. You know what I mean? I was at the other end of the hallway, more focused on Goldie's room, Hank's room, and the pieces of equipment that we had just in there. So I wasn't necessarily expecting a knock like that. That's interesting. Right out of the gate, walking up, I think I even said, well, that's new. You look at it and it's like, okay, the door was open, that thing had fallen down, the light to the attic was on. That's interesting to me. It's interesting, but at the same time, it's like we weren't around to witness that. We weren't around to experience that for ourselves. So, cool, absolutely. Could I consider it paranormal? I mean, I don't know of anything natural or atmospheric that's just going to turn the light on. Like physically manipulate the chain to pull it to turn the light on. I have no idea. Was it paranormal? Probably. Can I prove it? No, because we weren't there to observe it. And we weren't there to document it, more importantly, right? But overall, I think it was a success. I think it was a positive experience. It fascinated me just because everything happens at once, right? Everything happened all at once, and then nothing. It stopped. So it's like we recorded for maybe 24 minutes tops. And in that 24 minutes, that was even me walking up the stairs. Like 24 minutes from that point. Like that was interesting. Because in that 24-minute window, we had just a few minutes that were noteworthy in the fact that, some things were happening, right? So that was what made that noteworthy to me. But yeah, overall, a success. Most importantly, we got to get back in Goldie's room. We need to do more like thorough testing in there. I also want to have another conversation or 5 with Hank. I really think it's almost time to go back into the crawl spaces. I also think that now that it's warming up, it's probably time to readdress the basements and all of that crap and get into those areas as well. The more nasty, dank, dark areas of this building. It is now going to be comfortable enough that I can just do that. I put on grubby clothes and just go. We'll have to switch up the cameras and all that stuff because there's no way I'm taking this fancy schmancy camera into that crap. But we'll figure it out for sure. But guys, thank you. Thank you for everything. Thank you for watching. Thank you for the likes, the shares, the comments, all the stuff. Guys, you are absolutely the best. Thank you for keeping this a positive space. I really appreciate it. Everything else online seems to just be a goddamn cesspool. So thanks. I appreciate you guys. And we will talk to you all very soon. Peace.